Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes, and we've got a lot to cover today. So we're going to just get right to it as we take a look at the high temperatures that we are setting up for this afternoon. It's really going to be pretty much a repeat performance of yesterday. We're looking at high temperatures running generally between 90 and 95 just about everywhere, maybe a shade cooler along the shore with some local sea breezes, and that's about it. And there will be the chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm in one or two spots. 99% of you will not see anything. This covers everybody from northeast Virginia through southern Pennsylvania and eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all the way up into southern New England. Now, Wednesday, we have a cold front that's going to be coming through, and that will bring in clouds, more of a south-southwest wind, which will hold the temperatures back, and a pretty good chance that we could see some thunderstorms. And the Storm Prediction Center is upping its game for tomorrow, for Wednesday, indicating a marginal risk of severe weather from northeast Virginia on up into New England, all the way up into coastal eastern New England. I would point out that much like what we saw a week ago yesterday, it will really hinge on how much daytime heating we get. If we wind up like we did last Monday, where we broke out into sunshine and temperatures pushed up toward the 90-degree mark with dew points getting up into the lower and middle 70s, then we could have a far greater blow up in terms of severe weather. So I think there's an outside chance that we could see this marginal risk area, that we could wind up with a slight risk being added to it on Wednesday. But we'll have to wait till tomorrow morning to see what the satellite looks like. If it looks like we're going to be wide open with sunshine at least into the early afternoon, then I think we could see these thunderstorms bulk up a bit during the late afternoon and into the evening hours. Now, this weather front that's coming on through is going to be stalling out, and the reason why it's going to do that is because this upper air trough is not going to be very cooperative in terms of its overall behavior. You have it here just like this, but it's this southern part is going to wind up separating. The northern part's going to want to keep on going. So with the southern part lingering in the southeast, that is going to create some problems. The front is going to stall out somewhere offshore, and like last week we had a stalled front, but it wound up being far enough out once we got a wave to move along it. This one's going to be tucked in a bit closer, and as a result, it's going to leave in the possibility that we could see some clouds and showers lingering around. Maybe not so much on Thursday, but Friday and into the weekend. Having some questions here because looking at the model, you still have troughing kind of sitting there going into Friday night and Saturday. A flow that's sort of trying to push up the East Coast. The northern part of the jet stream is just to our north. If this were to sink far enough south, then we could wind up seeing some improvement over the weekend. So big questions are there. I think Thursday's going to wind up being okay for the most part, with temperatures that are going to be a bit lower than they will be certainly for today. As we move into Thursday, we're looking at temperatures that'll be mostly in the middle 80s, maybe a few upper 80s down in parts of Maryland and Virginia. And then as we head into Friday, if we start to have to deal with cloud issues and maybe the chance for some showers, especially once you go south and west of New York City down toward Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, then we could see temperatures more like in the lower 80s. That's why the numbers are actually lower as you go south. And then the same is going to hold over the weekend. For Saturday at least, will there be clouds around? That is the big question going forward. Starting out the day, it's another hot start. We are at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time with temperatures already up close to the 80-degree mark, so the launching pad is set. The tropics, just want to touch on a couple of things here. We have two areas of disturbed weather in the tropics on the Atlantic side. The first one is not visible anywhere close. Here's our satellite today. You can see it's just wide open as far as sunshine is concerned. But in terms of what we see on the satellite, we've got two areas that we're looking at. This was the one in the Caribbean yesterday. We have a tropical wave that is off the African coast that's going to be moving westward. This one that is north of Puerto Rico, at least where the active weather is going to be moving toward the Bahamas. Upper air conditions are unfavorable for development. You can see the clouds are blowing from west to east, so we have some shear going on. The wave here is not a half bad looking wave from the standpoint of the satellite structure. Conditions aren't favorable for development now. They may get more favorable as we move through the weekend. And finally, just want to touch upon the Pacific, where we have Hurricane Erik moving west-northwestward, might briefly become a major hurricane before it weakens to a tropical storm, forecast to pass south of Hawaii late this week. And behind that, it will soon be Hurricane Flossie moving west-northwestward, and this will become probably a major hurricane at some point. That may wind up coming close to Hawaii, but also forecast to weaken as it makes its approach, and that would not be until early next week sometime. So the tropics getting busy on the Pacific side, just weak waves to deal with on the Atlantic side. We've got a hot and humid day ahead, so stay cool. Just watch it. There could be an isolated pop-up, and we'll have more on the ongoing weather moving in through the rest of the week and into the weekend. We'll do something on the long range later today. Have a good rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you later.